Those rare earth magnets typically come from one single country, which could potentially create a supply chain risk. If we can get rid of those rare earth magnets, but still can keep the packaging and the performance, that's a winner.
Hi everyone, I'm Yu-Chi. Really happy to be here in Munich today to talk about the bold business vision behind YEESMA. From the electric motorcycle to the sustainable supply chain, YEESMA is building the motor that not only power the vehicle, but also power the smarter and cleaner future. So today with me, it's Philippe Siad FARAH, the founder of the YEESMA. So welcome, Philippe.
Thank you, Yu-Chi. Great to be here.
Okay, let's just straight into the point. So YEESMA is tackling a massive challenge like balancing the performance, sustainability, or cost in electric motors. So what drove the YEESMA to focus on the rare earth-free technology?
YEESMA is definitely working on electric motors. And when you look nowadays, 90% of the electric motors which are used in the hybrids or the electric vehicles contain rare earth magnets. And those rare earth magnets, they have potential issues like cost issue, because those rare earth magnets are very expensive. Those rare earth magnets are also very difficult to extract, so they need a lot of energy, and they are not very good for the plant and for the people and the biospecies. It's a very dirty process. And last but not least, there's an additional issue is those rare earth magnets typically come from one single country, which could potentially create a supply chain risk. If we can get rid of those rare earth magnets, but still can keep the packaging and the performance, that's a winner.
Aside from the sustainability aspect, what advantage does YEESMA offer in terms of the cost structure? Because I noticed that you mentioned YEESMA offers 30% lower BOM cost on LinkedIn, and which is really impressive.
Actually, meanwhile, we even progressed. We even have more than 30%. We have 40 to 50%, because we realized recently that we should also include some additional savings in the electronic side, actually. So that's why we even have better numbers. And the question you were just asking us, how can we do that actually? Because we mentioned definitely we have lower bill of materials, so less components. One of the main reasons is YEESMA is definitely, it's a mixed technology. YEESMA basically we're trying to marry the best of a couple of technologies to really get the highest performance. When you get higher performance, you need less material actually to reach a lower performance. So that really what makes us make actually the whole thing is cheaper. On the electronic side, it's a specific feature that we're using, linked again to this technology. You will find out in the YEESMA name as well. It's the EESM technology. And that particular technology helps actually reducing the electronics cost. So overall, when you look at the whole thing, that's how we came up with a big number, which are not very common in automotive. Automotive, typically we're talking about single digit reduction. We're talking about 2-digit reduction. Very high numbers, 40 to 50% cost reduction. With even bigger number on the CO2, so sustainability index, we're talking about 50 to 70% sustainability index, CO2 reduction.
I also noticed that you mentioned simplifying the manufacturing process on LinkedIn. So does it mean like YEESMA is easier to scale up for the mass production? Example for like the tier 1 OEMs or even the startups?
Yeah, YEESMA, without going too much into technology details, but the whole idea about YEESMA is we're using what we call an axial flux technology. An axial flux technology is already well known, okay? It's already in the market, but those axial flux usually use permanent magnets. They're very difficult to assemble. That's one of the issues why those axial flux magnets are not on the market at high volume. You already see some applications, but they're still niche applications. YEESMA, by removing those permanent magnets and actually replacing them by electromagnets, makes the whole assembly completely different. We can really make it much leaner, much simpler, which helps then not only reducing the bill of material, so we have less material content, but also much easier to manufacture at a high scale. And we're really looking at high scale for e-mobility, really to make sure that electrification can really go spread whole market.
That sounds really amazing. Yeah. So what is the next for YEESMA?
The next is we're still developing this solution. And the next thing is really basically, then to be very concrete, is transform a dream into a vision, into a reality. So next is really, we're building out prototypes now, we're talking to customers, and the next is spreading this into production, high scale production for automotive application. That's really the next step.
YEESMA is definitely the one to watch. I hope this has given you all audience in a really good spot on the motor innovation. So thank you today for your amazing interviews, Philippe.
Thank you, Yu-Chi.